Get him.
Oh, we folded that ball. Look at all this
Hold Welcome to another episode of the Pintails Podcast, brought to you by Onyx. Please sponsor.
Oh, hell yeah. It actually let me record.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go, dude.
Let's fucking go, dude.
We're gonna have to quit opening these damn podcasts with hell yeah, we got memory on the phone.
I know, dude. I need to go buy one of those terabyte things, dude. I'm ordering one off of Amazon tonight. Fuck it. It is what it is. Business expense.
Yeah, we're going 10,000 episodes. We need a terabyte, please.
That's exactly right. So, SanDisk, please sponsor me because I cannot afford one of those things.
Please.
Dude,
Microsoft, whoever's listening.
You know how expensive those things are? $200 for like a basic one.
Dude, do you even remember how much it was to get like a memory stick for a gram, a fucking gigabyte?
Yes, dude.
It used to be $50.
Yeah, for just a
gig.
normal one, for 1 gigabyte, and you could store everything on that thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's get to the duck segment. All right.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it.
So, ultimately, what we're talking about, we want to talk to our viewers today about scouting, right? The pros, the cons, the wins, the fails, all that fun stuff, huh?
Oh yeah, dude. And we're talking e-scouting, but more than e-scouting, we're talking about real world scouting, right?
Right, all of it.
Yeah. And I know you guys are listening to this like, here's another duck hunting podcast talking about scouting. But dude, like, one thing I learned this past year is scouting is all of it. That's all you're doing. You're just hunting in between scouts. That's all you're doing. Just chasing the migration, chasing the flocks, chasing the food, chasing the tides. At least for me, I'm always moving, dude. Like I hunt the same spots a lot of times out of comfort, but every time I go or went down there, I was looking for new spots, looking for where the bird's at today, so it changes a lot, dude. So yeah, I mean, scouting is, I feel like, the pillar of duck hunting, dude. It really is.
It is. I mean, so we've got public land access everywhere, right? Like Texas obviously isn't known to have the most, but we've got it, dude. Up in Dallas, we've got the grasslands, we've got Caddo Lake, we've got Louisville, Grapevine, literally Lake Fork. I mean, anywhere you want to hunt. We got the Red River. You can hunt wherever you want as long as you do the research. And we talk about, like, I guess let's break it down into multiple different segments, but the big one is like just opening up your interpretation of where you can hunt, right? You got to scout available places to hunt.
You just said something super important. So yes, I 100% agree. And that's probably the pillar of my argument for today is
that's the start,
Yeah. And so I mean, like you guys, I've told you guys before, I'm new to duck hunting. And so the first question, I know that there's not a lot of public land in Texas. So the first question that popped into my head is, where can I go? Well, this didn't really occur to me until after the season, but that's kind of the whole point of what keeps me busy in the off season is, there's not a whole lot of public land. Ain't nobody said that about public water. That's a whole different argument because navigable waters in Texas are huntable as long as you check with your local game wardens to make sure that there's not special restrictions in play for different areas, I could mention a few off the top of my head, but like, dude, I live around Canyon Lake, Texas. I never in my wildest dreams imagined, let me go duck hunting up the Guadalupe River from Canyon. I called a game warden. He's like, yeah, it's completely legal. People do it all the time. I said, really? Yeah. He's like, yeah. It's a navigable water. Go hit it. And I'm like, oh shit. There we go.
Yeah. Really, I mean, one of the biggest things for me is when I'm just bored, right? I get on my phone, I start where I'm at, and I just zoom out a little bit at a time. I'm like, okay, well, there's a lake. Okay, well, no, it's not really a lake. It's a pond, right? So is this pond huntable? So I look into it. I can get on Onyx. I can check it out. Like, shout out Onyx for definitely keeping me as legal as possible.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Like, if you're not using Onyx, HuntWise, one of those brands out there, you need to. It will make your life a lot easier. It will make you feel more confident in your hunt, and it will just give you the right playing field to start on to be able to hunt. Because everybody's like, well, I don't duck hunt because I don't know where I can hunt. I don't have private land. But you don't need private land. It helps. But my grandma's ranch, like, I've seen one duck on the pond my whole life, and I shot that one duck for fun.
That's right.
But when I get to my house and I start zooming out and I look at Lake Lewis, I live right off of it. I'm like, dude, we got Party Cove, we got the beach. There's no way I can duck hunt this. Well,
Yes,
lo
you
and behold,
can.
lo and behold, you find out you're 100% able to if you do a simple application to hunt on the pond,
That's
you
right.
know? And at that point, then you start deep diving into where you're going to hunt on that lake.
So
But it starts out with just like picking the spots, right? Picking out where you want to try to hunt.
yeah, and I think that's what we should. I think we should break this podcast into a few different categories, or a few different segments or chapters. But I think the first one could be um, like where to hunt, and then the second one could be what to look for in the area that you found, right? Like where to hunt is more
Right.
like the legality of, can I even, wield a fucking scatter gun here and look for a flapper,
Yep.
And then
Yep.
the second part is, okay, this
Now let's
stretch
find the
of
birds.
right, this stretch of river, this marsh, this lake, this shore, what am I looking for, right? And then
Yep.
the last one is like, okay, weather. That weather is fucking huge. It controls
Yeah.
everything. And once you're in those spots and you find the factors that you think you need, how is the weather going to play into it? Because that also affects what shore that you're on, the North Shore versus the South Shore, east wind versus the
Mm-hmm.
west wind, that kind of thing. So I guess
Yep.
if we're gonna break into it, then yeah, let's dive into how do we find where we want to go hunt. And
Yeah.
I guess you just got to open up your creative juices here, boys. I mean, there's really no other way around it. The good thing for y'all is that unlike deer or pigs or anything else, these animals, these ducks, do not stay on land. They flap around and they go from point A to point B to the other side of the country. So you can expect that there's going to be movement. If there's movement, just find where they're going, where they're going to be. So I
Yeah.
think I think when it comes to me, man, I look for what's in a 3 hour limit of drive time, because that's kind of like what I look at. Um,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's why I started hunting the coast, because the coast was just the most obvious answer. Like saltwater, it's all legal, so let's just go find a little island. Let's go find a patch of mangroves. Let's go find them over there, and then that's where I'm going to have the most opportunity for public land. So that's how I
Well, I
went.
think that
I got down there.
Yeah, and I think that breaks it. I think that's kind of breaking more into the next part of it, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Mm-hmm.
first thing first is use the tools you have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get on your phone, Apple Maps, even if you don't download Onyx or something like that, get on Apple Maps or Google Maps and just look for bodies of water, right? And once you find that, you have tools. Like in Texas, we have the Texas Parks and Wildlife Public Land. It's the thickest book in my house,
That's
and it
right.
tells me if I'm allowed to hunt this lake. That's how I found out about all the WMAs around my house within like a 2.5 hour radius. So I can just drive up there in the morning, hunt, come back, and still have a day.
That's right.
You've got that. You've got Google. You've got Chat GPT. You can even call a game warden if you want to and just make sure, like Alexis said. I mean, hey, navigable waters. Like, hey, am I good to hunt here? We sure? Yes. Cool. I'm going to hunt there tomorrow. Just letting you know.
Dude, and that's
Um,
another thing I wanted to talk about. When it comes to where I'm hunting and how to do it, I haven't mentioned or given enough praise to just how instrumental Texas Parks and Wildlife has been to me. I've called, like in Rockport, you have Aransas County and you have the next county over that I can't remember right now. I think it's Guadalupe or something. But anyways, I know a lot of us are scared to, oh no, here come green jeans, or whatever. But dude, like realistically, if you're doing everything right, there's absolutely no reason for you to be afraid, right?
yeah.
Um,
Don't carry lead. Carry a shotgun with a plug in it. You're good.
you're good. It's not that hard. Have a license,
Have a
register your
license,
boat.
right?
It seems like a lot. It's really not. So, but dude, those guys, man, even without giving them any information as to who I am or anything like that, I've called game wardens anywhere from Comal County, Bear County, Wilson County, Aransas County, like all over South Texas, and I'm like, hey guys, this is what I'm planning on doing. This is what I'd like to do. I want to go duck hunting. I'm new to it. I'm looking for some spots. What can I do? And man, dude, those guys want you to go out there and be successful and harvest some ducks and report that stuff back. Like they count on us to to manage the resource. So yeah, they want us to be successful. They're like the one people that are not going to steer you wrong, And so those guys have helped me out personally so much in answering questions and even finding spots, man. And finding like, hey, you know what? If you really want to avoid problems, don't go here. We have calls all the time. Those guys are assholes, whatever. And they'll tell you like, dude, just don't do it. Like it's not that you can't do it. It's just that like, why would you bring yourself the extra trouble? And you're like, you know what? I really was planning on going hunting there. Now I'm not going to. I'd rather invest my time somewhere else so I can have a better experience. So like, shout out to those guys, man.
At the same time, though, the game warden tells me he's constantly getting calls about people duck hunting out here having an issue. It may or may not be on the X.
They may or may not be, or I don't know, dude. Like I know Port Aransas. I think it's called Port Bay. Or sorry, not Port Aransas, in Rockport. I think it's called Port Bay. But there's like a fishing and hunting club that has been disputing whether they own the marsh or not for like the past X amount of years. I don't even know how long. And so they're constantly calling game wardens because there's people hunting on public land out there. And they're like, well, it's in dispute. And so I'm just like, dude, I'm not trying to cause an argument or have like my weekend ruined. Like, fuck all that, man. So
nah, I've been shot at across the water, dude. I know it's not. There's some wild people out there that just think they own the world because somebody introduced it to them 2 years before I found out about it. Like,
that's right.
Who cares?
Well, fuck those guys. But the rest of us that are trying to do, good. If you guys are looking for spots, man, call your local game warden. I promise you they're going to be helpful. If you don't want to call the local game warden, then, honestly, dude, Facebook groups, to me personally, have been really...
just about to say it.
Yeah. Facebook groups have been great, man. I mean, shout out to me. I'm going to talk about mine. Corpus Christi Duck Hunters, dude. Solid fucking people. Puro pinche Lofens Hunting here in South Texas. Solid fucking people. Like, no, they're not going to give you spots, dude. But if you go in there and interact with people in the right way, in the respectful way, they'll give you tips on what to look for, and that'll help you choose a spot.
I've got one of the best success stories on that. I joined North Texas Duck Hunters group on Facebook when I first moved up here, like just when I bought my house up in Little Elm. And I was on there. I was messaging this guy, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to hunt Louisville. Like, how do I get the permit?" And the dude starts talking to me, everything. Dude lives behind my house. Like, I mean, behind my house and 3 houses down. Not even, like, I could yell right now and he could hear me.
That's sick.
Yeah, and me and him linked up. We did a couple of hunts together. He moved recently, so we don't hunt anymore, but we hang out. And then I found another guy through another page that I was on for duck hunting. Dude works for my company.
No shit.
So now me and him hunt about once a year together. We're in different divisions and everything, but he works for the company, and it's awesome.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, and honestly, like we're talking about scouting, communicating with buddies. If Alexis asks me for a spot, he's getting the spot. Honestly, if one of y'all asks me for a spot, I'm probably going to give you a spot because I don't hunt every day of the season.
That's right.
As much as I can. But I got my off day during the week. You're probably at work. Hunt it on a Saturday if you can, dude. I don't have time to hunt on a Saturday. I work.
Well, and at the end of the day, they're reporting back to you what they're finding at the spot that you go and hunt at. So you're like, hey man, birds were moving from this direction, or they preferred a small spread over a large spread, or a large spread over a small spread. Then you know what to do when you get there the next day.
Yeah, like any feedback you get, that's part of scouting,
right?
So find spots you want to hunt. Talk to people that can tell you about spots. Share yours with them, because the more you share, the more they do. That's just how the cookie crumbles on that.
Yeah,
but like, just ask everybody, do as much research on where you want to hunt, and then do the research to make sure you're allowed to.
Yeah, and don't be lazy, man. Like, do the homework. I know everybody just wants a honey hole, but really and truly, I think like the best honey holes are found when you put in the work for them, and then you find somewhere really nice that you like and that you enjoy, whether the ducks come or not. As long as you're there, it's better than being, at work or in a stressed out situation. So go out there and put in the work. And I think that's what I've been trying to spend a lot of time in the off season. Like I said, the bells didn't really start chiming until the season ended. And I was like, well, now what? And I was like, dude, there's so much work to do. There's blinds to be fixed down at the coast I use the blinds, so I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to put in my, my little effort too, to keeping the resource available to others, just like others made it available to me.
Yep.
And I'm gonna put in the work, talking to people and learning and just trying to do as much research as I possibly can about where I can go. And you know what,
Yeah.
dude? To my surprise, I have found so much accessible land, or not land, but accessible rivers or waterways for duck hunting that aren't in bad situations. I mean, you got to think about it. Who else really likes rivers? Farmers. What are they growing? Feed for the ducks. So
That's it.
why not put yourself smack in the middle of them, the one place ducks need to go after they eat, in the
Yeah.
water. So
I mean, dude, you're talking about rivers. The reality is like rivers are where those ducks stay for the most part. They don't raft up on lakes nonstop unless it's
Mhm.
like a calm day. If it's choppy, they're jumping back into the rivers because it's blocked by trees and banks, and they
Yep.
are having to fight for their life just to like swim around a little bit.
Yep. You know,
So
I'll
that kind
tell
of
you.
takes us in. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say a very quick story of the most unlikely spot that I found a shit ton of ducks recently, and I found out now that they're residents. But still, is if anyone lives in the Canyon Lake area, one of these days go hiking down to the dam and take that little trail that's down there at the bottom where the spillway comes out and the hydro plant is. There's a free trail to county trail down there. Go walk next to that river and tell me what you find. You're gonna find a shit ton of widgeon and gadwall that are just hanging out in the middle, in the current, in the river. And I mean, that water's cold as fuck because it's coming from the Canyon Lake, from the underside of the lake.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, they're there, and I'm like, huh, look at these guys. And I mean, technically you can hunt it, but I'm not going to because there's houses all up and down that river. But still, you just never know where you're gonna find them, man. Open up your possibilities. Think outside the box a little.
Yeah. So I mean, now you're picking out what places might appeal to you, right? So now
Yeah.
let's just say I've decided I'm going to Lake Louisville. Like I live here, I found out I can hunt it. Now I'm starting to east out a little bit. Now I'm breaking down every bank of this lake, looking for any little creek that creeps back up into some woods or anything like that that look like it would be a good honey hole.
Right.
And that was kind of what you started to talk about is you got to know a spot for all different scenarios because
That's right.
you hit the nail on the head. I look at weather more than I actually look at where I'm hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm looking for cold fronts. I'm looking for wind. Is it coming out of the north, south, northwest, southeast? Like I can tell on a northwest day, I'm probably going to have a banger of a hunt, especially if the wind's blowing between 10 to 20 miles an hour, right?
Right.
Anywhere in between there, it's money. Anything over 20, like those birds are probably going to get finicky a little bit.
Yeah.
But I start out my scout with weather, and then that's how I determine which spot that I've already picked out that I'm going to go to.
But you got to have the spots. You got to have some kind
do.
of knowledge or homework as to where they like to be, or where they would like to be. Think like a duck type of situation in that kind of particular weather.
Yep.
And it's
So,
not an exact
obviously-
science, guys. It's really not. I mean, you can have them dialed down to, this day they've always come here. I guarantee you, one day you're going to go out there, they're just going to do whatever the hell they want because that's what ducks do,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah, I stopped looking for the limit hole and just like to try new spots that I know I can find a duck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, so you start out scouting, right? Now we're on e-scouting. You're diving into the lake. You're diving into the marsh you're going to hunt, and you're just looking for little things like, are there trees overhanging the water, right? That's acorns dropping in. Probably going to have some wood ducks. Is there a farmer's field that's growing beans, peas, corn, wheat, whatever, off the bank about a mile down the road? Like they're going to feed there all day and then come back and roost or hit the water, do whatever, right?
That's right.
So you got to look for those hot topics or those hot areas for what a duck wants, right? Because it's not what we want. Don't get me wrong. I want a lounge chair and an open blind, a case of beer, and just chill and drink and shoot. But that ain't the case with duck hunting.
That's right. And for a lot of that stuff, it's not the worst idea. If you want to learn more about how a duck thinks, like look into who studies those damn things all the time. Biologists, pick up an article, watch some videos, educate yourself as on the topic of ducks. I mean, it comes down just like anything else. Know your species, right? Know what you're hunting. It's the same thing with deer hunting, right? The anatomy of a deer, where to shoot it. Well, the anatomy of a duck's thinking, right? Like what does it think? What does it like? What does it eat? And
Yep.
incorporate those things into your scouting because that's kind of the heart of it, you know.
Hmm. Like look at fly zones, right? No
That's
fly
right.
zones, know where they're going to go. These ducks fly the same routes every year. They are born with a GPS coordination in their brain to go from Canada, or really the Arctic Circle, all the way down to
Hmm.
Argentina and back.
And they use it. They use the hell out of it.
Hmm.
But
So,
but yeah, dude. Now that we're talking about like what to look for, what are some things that you like to look for whenever you're, you have your spots, you have your 20, your 20 uh, probable locations that you'll find a flapper. What are you
yep.
looking for beside weather? What are you looking for on? Okay, I found Lake Louisville. I like Lake Louisville. What are you looking for on Lake Louisville?
Yeah. So on a lake, what I'm looking for is a little slough that I can get back into that happens to have an opening at the end of it, right? I like it to be surrounded by something at least on 2 to 3 sides, whether that be trees, heavy cattails, something like that, some kind of breakup, so that duck feels comfortable away from predators. Because that's what
Right.
they're really trying to do. They're trying to stay protected.
So you're looking for
Um,
like a covered little cove or something like that?
yeah. Like, I mean, dude, you look at a lake, you're like, oh my God, there's water. I can shoot a duck on the water. Yeah, you don't see a duck in the middle of the lake, but like, if you ever go out on the boat and just hang out and just family friends, right? And you get back in those little coves where you're trying to get out of the wind and you drop anchor and everybody's hanging out. Those are where the ducks just randomly fly into, because they're trying to get out of the weather too.
Well, they're trying to do the same
So,
thing that you're doing, just hang out.
right, trying to chill, make their life
That's
as easy as possible.
that's what I look for too. And then a big part of my scouting once I'm in there is water depth and what kind of soil is at the bottom of that water and
Hmm.
what's growing in that water. So is there duckweed? Is there widgeonweed? Is there vegetation? Is there some kind of grass that or some kind of edible source that these guys are eating? Like is there something nearby? Is there the wind the I'm in a river and the river's going downstream or whatever. Is there a cove where the current breaks? And is there like a little patch of grass that I can hide in not too far away
Yep.
from there? That kind of thing. Because a lot of those spots, man, they look great, but until you go out there and check the water depth and stuff, because you might find a hole and be like, oh, this is great. Yeah, dude, and it's 7 feet deep. What are you going to do in it?
Yep.
Because the only thing
Yep.
that's going in there is diver ducks. Puddle ducks aren't going to go in there. So, yeah, you could go for them because some of those ducks, they dive deep like it's nothing. But
Right.
it also depends what kind of species you're targeting, right?
Yeah. Dude, it's funny you said that. I literally, like, I got a little checklist of stuff I wanted to talk about. The
Yeah.
next 2 bullet points are literally what you see on a map compared to what you saw in person,
Oh, dude, that's big, man. That's
right?
big, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, how many times have I gone out to a spot where I'm like, hell yeah, dude, it looks like knee-high water. It'll be perfect for ducks. I'm playing everything, and like I don't have time to scout beforehand, so I just walk
Hmm.
a mile through the woods. I get out there and no water, nothing.
Gone.
It's dry. Yeah, that picture was from 7 months ago.
That's right. Oh, dude. Anybody who hunts the coast knows this because in the winter you get the low tides and stuff. I mean, you grew up in Houston and Port Arthur, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
But the tides, bye bye. Water gone.
Gone.
Everything changes. Everything changes every day. It's
Yeah.
so unpredictable, man. I mean, it's you're trying to get out of a maze where the walls are constantly changing, dude. That's what it is down on the coast.
Yep. I
But
mean,
yeah,
best case scenario when it comes to scouting though, like if you can scout the day before and lay eyes on where you're going to hunt, make sure you have a good hide, make sure there's a good water level, then it's so much more beneficial than me sitting here in my couch just literally looking like, ooh, this will be a good spot next year, this will be a good spot, and then wasting 4 or 5 days getting out there and being like, damn, nope, it's not going to be a good spot. I'm going to have to find a whole new game plan.
and what I like to do, man, to avoid that is like me and Buddy Shane are thinking about doing it. We're gonna go down to Port Mansfield, I think next week. And part
Mm-hmm.
of the big reason that we want to go down there is to go scouting, man. Is to go check out. Like I know at this point we have spring water levels. The wind is fucking blowing because it does that in the spring. But we want to go out there. We want to see with the equipment available to us, where can we go? How can we get there? Is it going to be safe? What does the ground look like? And so it's what we have been doing, and I would recommend our listeners to do is pick out a grid, like pick out a section. I know like this can be so overwhelming because there's so much to see, especially on the coast, but even on a river or on a lake, there's so much to see, and you want to go find the perfect spot on day one. But you got to remember, it's not about finding the perfect spot. It's about finding a spot for your checklist or a spot for your for your repertoire. And so what I like to do is say, okay, this 30-mile stretch of whatever, whether it's bay, river, or lake, I like to say, like, concentrate on that for a few days and say, on this trip, I'm just going to look at these couple spots and I'll find like 10 or I don't know, 10 little spots that I say, I want to go put eyes on this. I want to walk around. I want to feel it. I want to see what it looks like, and just concentrate on those 10. And then if you find like 2 or 3 of those, great. Now go look for something else with either similar or extremely different conditions. Because if you're thinking this spot will work great on a north wind, now prepare yourself for a south wind, and then prepare yourself for an east and a southeast and everything else, plan your routes and stuff. So, a lot of what that having different spots for different days is so damn important. And I could not stress this more for my canoe hunters and my kayak hunters out there, because like for me out this past season, I was hunting out of a canoe. I couldn't navigate anything over 14, 15, 16 miles an hour, and I was stuck out there on 40-mile-an-hour days because I didn't know better, and it got dicey, dude. I mean, you remember me sending you text messages where I'd be like, start the search party here because God only knows. And you gotta have plans, because the most frustrating thing that can happen to you is waking up at 5 a.m. The wind changed, the meteorologist got it wrong. Now you don't know what you're doing. You show up to the boat ramp, there's supposed to be water, there's not. Now what do? The day's either ruined or you have A through
Improvise.
B. Yeah, improvise. Go through your little list of spots. Okay, we can go here. I know what to do. Switch and pivot. So that's why it's so important to have these different spots, guys. And know, like I can navigate this way or whatever in different weather conditions,
Yeah. I mean, having different spots, right? I probably have 7 spots that I hunt consistently.
Yeah.
But each one of those spots has probably 4 different blind locations on it. I don't mean I have 4 blinds built. I just know that if I decide for any reason, I'm like, hey, I got a feeling they're going to be here today. No matter what happens, the wind shifts, it starts raining, whatever it is, I can get in and out to where I need to get because I did the proper planning.
That's right.
Right? I've done enough research on this place to know, hey, there should be ducks. So as long as I go to this hole, it doesn't matter. I just got to know where they're going to be coming from. So if I set up on the east and then drop it on the west, it's going to suck. Right?
Right.
So I'm going to get up, I'm going to improvise and go to that other hole.
Right. And so that's really what this segment really focuses on is, if you take anything away, it's what you're looking for is something that ducks feed on. You're looking for different weather conditions, plan for different weather conditions, have different spots. And then just have those resources ready for you to be able to pivot and, have something changes on you, whatever, what to do from there. Because I had zero knowledge on scouting this past season, and don't even get me wrong. I'm terrible at it. I'm still learning. It's going to take a lifetime. But hell, even Phil Robinson had a little book that he had for weather patterns, and even he said it takes at least 5 years of recording data for you to pick up any kind of pattern. So, and he's one of them, arguably the most consistent duck hunter there was. So RIP to the legend. But there's it's a long term game that you're settling in here for. So there is no right or wrong solution. But I think something that you just said right now, like, pivots us into the next section pretty good, which is, this is public land. Like you said, you show up, something happens, you have to have another spot. Another reality
3
of this
guys
is
set up on your hole.
Oh yeah, dude, they'll beat you there. Because I beat some people to some spots, and if you try to have that conversation like, hey, let's hunt together, and they don't want to, you got to figure something out. You're either finding somewhere else or you're going home. So have those spots ready for yourselves, guys. And ultimately, man, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to have fun. If you can hunt with somebody, great. If they beat you there, Cuddy, I'm going to let you explain to them about some, public land etiquette, because you have way more experience in it than I do. I just know I don't want to fight people, so we either settle it or we figure out a way. But what are some tips, man, if you get to a spot and somebody's there, or vice versa?
Man, I am a very firm believer in karma. At the end of it, dude, if you show up late and somebody's in your hole and there's 4 or 5 guys sitting there, just say, hey, you cool if I hunt over here, right? Ask to hunt near them. Don't ask to hunt with them if they're 4 or 5 deep. But if you walk up on somebody that's by themselves, or maybe one and a buddy, be like, hey guys, I was planning on hunting here. I can go somewhere else, but if y'all are cool with it, can I hop in, right? Because 3 hunters isn't going to overkill it, right?
Right.
But if you start getting 6, 7 people in a small little hole, you're taking away from their hunt. So do the right thing and just know that you were late, they beat you, and bounce. Or
That's right.
have that conversation, and if they tell you to fuck off immediately, go. Just get over it, because you've got a limited amount of time before that sun comes up. Go find your next spot.
Yeah, there's no sense in you arguing with them. I mean, legally, they got there before you was. So sorry, boys. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's the name of the game.
Yeah, but here's where the good karma comes back, right? There's been a handful of times on the best days where I've beat people out there, and I am not the guy to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, get to public land at 3. I'm waking up at 4, driving 30 minutes, 40 minutes, getting in the spot, hoping to God no one's there. But if somebody else shows up, dude, and invite them in, especially if you're solo. 1, they probably got more decoys. 2, they might call better than you. 3, if you miss, they might shoot the bird, and they're probably going to tell you to keep the birds because you were respectful enough to let them hunt with you.
That's right.
So if you're hunting like me to eat the ducks, that doesn't hurt at all to have a couple of extra birds in your bag to take home for the gumbo.
That's right. That's right. And there's something else about that too. So how do you go about, if somebody's in a spot and you got a group of 4 guys and they're hunting, it's spot A that you wanted, but you got B, C, and D, a couple hundred yards down the road or down the line, and you have some ducks that are flying right between you guys. Is there a conversation there, who gets the call first, or what? It just depends on what the birds are doing, or if you see them working them. I mean, because if I see a group of guys working a set of birds and I see that it's working, I'm just gonna let them work, dude. I'm gonna sit there, 100%. I'm gonna enjoy it and not fuck it up for them. The same way I'd hope that they don't fuck it up for me.
That's the true etiquette right there. If you are out there and I got one hole, right? Specific. It is a huge pond that's in an L shape. So if you hunt the top left side of the L, you could easily hunt the bottom right side of the L, and everybody's fine, right? But those same birds are going to work the pond. Those ducks can make that L real quick, as opposed to us being 200, 300 yards away from each other.
Right.
So if I see that bird cross my path first, I'll call at it. But if it zooms my thing and it starts circling them, I'm done. I'm letting them call, because they might call it off. It might fly and land over next to my quiet little ducks floating on the water. But if they get it and they circle it and they call it in and it just commits, dude, good on them. At the end of the day, I don't own the birds, right? I'm not going to mess with somebody else's hunt because I think I can get the bird back to me.
Yeah.
Had my shot, let it go. And usually that works when you're out of the line of sight of people. Because I've hunted big ponds where you're literally, I'm on the east side, you're on the west side. We can see each other's blinds, but we're easily far enough to where we can shoot directly at each other and it's never even going to pepper you. But dude, those guys will quack, 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 quack. I mean, scream on that call. And I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? You're just trying to get it away from me rather than get it to you.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
And that's just pure disrespect. Don't be that guy.
I say, yeah, don't be that guy. But also kind of be patient, see if their mistakes benefit you, I guess is something that I took away from that, right? See if they fuck it up to where it creates an opportunity for you because they couldn't create it for themselves almost, right?
Yeah, for real. Like I said, that guy around the bend might be calling like an asshole, or that duck might be like, ooh, I've heard that call already, or I've seen a motion decoy or whatever. So I'm going to go back to these quiet birds sitting on the water. Obviously, they're away from the threat.
Right.
And they might come back. That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm a quiet hunter. I hit my call when I need to, and that's about it. I'm not just screaming unless I'm like haven't seen a bird all damn day and no one's around, and I'll just see what I can do. But I mean, yeah, just respect the people around you. It'll come back to you. It's come back to me tenfold. I let a dad and a son hunt with me, and I have access to a badass duck boat on Lake Louisville.
Hell yeah, man.
So
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a big win for me right there because I don't have my own boat. I just walk in everywhere.
No, that's cool, dude. And I guess one thing I will say to end this segment of it, right, is if you are hunting public, you're allowed to go out there and build some blinds, whether it's on the marsh or whether you're up in Lake Louisville and somebody took the time and their afternoon on a Saturday to go out there, find some relaxing time and stick some sticks in the ground. Be respectful of the blinds, boys. Like, pick up your trash, leave the place better than you found it. Don't fuck up the blinds. Like if you are using the resource,
pick your shells up.
Yeah, pick your shells up. It is our responsibility to protect the resource. Like, hey, you know what? The state lets us build a blind out here. Let's take care of it. Let's add to it. Let's make it better. Let's not destroy the blinds. Let's not destroy the brush. Let's oh, fuck this guy or whatever. Like, no, dude. Yes, it's public land, but it belongs to all of us, not one of us. So let's find the place better than we found it, and let's just be respectful and build upon those relationships. Hey, you know what? Somebody took the time to build it. I found that this one little spot needs a little more brush. Just brush it up for him. And you never know. You might find the guy who built the blind out there one day, and y'all can have a conversation about how you guys have both contributed to this thing, and you might get a new hunting buddy. Or, hey, dude, there's actually this other spot that I hunt at. You want to come with me there? Had a great experience with you. You just never know, guys. But the respectful way is always the best way.
Yeah, it's the same thing my mom and granny taught me. If you're ever invited over to somebody's house, leave it better than you found it. Right?
That's right.
If they had dishes in the sink and you ate at their table, offer to do all the dishes. Right? If their house was dirty, whatever, help clean it up. Like, if you left a mess, clean it up even more than it already was. Just like blinds. If you get out there and you use somebody's blind and you saw somebody left a little Debbie's wrapper out there, pick it up, dude. It takes you 2 seconds. You can throw it away. You probably have your own trash to bring in.
Yeah.
Just pick it up. The ducks will appreciate it. They don't like trashy areas.
That's right.
The game wardens appreciate it. And the guy that built that place, if he ever does see you, you can tell him, hey, I've actually hunted out here a bunch of times. And he'll be like, damn, dude, you actually made it look good.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about, man, is creating opportunity, bettering those resources, and just having a fun time, dude. Because there's nothing better than a positive experience. And I think all of these factors really do contribute to a more positive experience. Figuring out where you can go, figuring out how to go about those spots, and then figuring out what to do once you're there in an inopportune situation or in a situation you weren't prepared for. And all of these things, if you just take the time to think about it and come up with a plan, I promise you it'll lead you to a better experience in the long haul. And it should be the same way with every aspect of your life, but especially for duck hunting. I think it'll help you guys out tremendously.
Yeah, and you can't forget the most important thing. The most important thing is there a Walmart on your way to the hole so you can buy a bag of corn to dump in there?
That's right, because you want to make sure that those duckies are fed, man. Feed the ducks.
Yeah,
man.
They got something to eat, dude.
That's right. On your way out, not on your way in, right? Not on your way in.
No, on my way in. Dump it out real quick.
Yeah, dude. Make sure everybody's fed. They want brekkie too, dude.
Yeah, they're hungry. I got a little Debbie's. They can have a little corn kernel.
That's right. But
all joking aside.
Yeah, all joking aside, guys, if you guys can come up with some other tips that might help a first-time hunter, or maybe some tips that you guys think are important that we didn't talk about, drop them down in the comments below. I'm sure we will all appreciate it. I'm sure we can all get something from it. So drop it down below, send us a message or whatever of some ideas that maybe we could talk about, because I promise you we'll be talking about scouting and e-scouting in the future. This is just our first video touching on the subject, but let us know what we missed and we'll be glad to talk about it.
Absolutely. And if you got better tips for us, like if you use certain apps that are better than one or the other, like we'd love that competition too, because Alexis and I were actually just talking about, like, it would be great if Onyx picked us up to be honest, $100 a year doesn't kill me to spend on a scouting app, but it helps tremendously.
Yeah, 100%.
But then like hunt wise, all these other ones out there that do the same thing plus some. Like if you've got experience with that, let us know, because we're not downloading 13 apps to duck hunt. So if you tell us like, hey, I'm telling you right now, HuntWise is better than Onyx, hey, dude, I'm gonna try it out.
I'll share my information, like, nah, and we'll all share each other's, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We're here to help y'all. Hopefully y'all want to reciprocate and help us too. We are just your average Joe duck hunters. Like, I know we try to sound a little professional on the podcast, but I promise you we are not.
We're just
in
some
the world
good old
of duck
boys.
hunting, I consider myself an amateur. So,
dude, I do have a question for the viewers. I might turn this into a poll. I don't know, but allegedly, HuntWise, when you get on their app, you can, like, just like Onyx does, and it'll tell you like the boundary lines and who owns it. But additionally, it tells you the person's phone number so that you can get a hold of them. I saw it on one of their ads.
Cool.
So yeah, if one of y'all has HuntWise out there, would y'all mind commenting down below if there's any validity to this? Because it's kind of cool. I don't know if it's a premium feature. I would assume so. You know, like pay more and you get the feature, but it's still a good resource to have. Or maybe if you guys know if Onyx has a similar feature, because that's what I use is Onyx, just because it's the one that I've always used. But let us know if there's one with phone numbers, because that's kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Comment, like, tell us everything. Give us feedback if we're bullshitting, if we're honest. I mean, read it in the caption, dude. Bad at hunting, good at bullshitting. That's what this is, man.
That's
we're
exactly
just trying
it.
to chit chat, have a good time.
All right, boys. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Pintails Podcast. I'm excited to get this one wrapped up for you guys and share with your buddies, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in.
Later, y'all.